Hey everybody, thought we might do something a little bit different today. I've never really done much of a knife review in the past. I've just done some shorts. This is just kind of off the cuff. Mainly wanted to make a video on this guy here today. I wanted to talk about how this knife, why I ended up getting this knife in general. You guys and girls in the knife world maybe have heard of Ozark Trail brand, which I believe is made by Wal-Mart. Knife that is out there at Wal-Mart and Walmart.com. That is a crossbar style lock. It has a D2 blade, orange handle, and it's like $9.99. And there's been a lot of people tested up against the ever so popular Benchmade bug out, and it's done pretty good in a lot of the tests, believe it or not, against the bug out. Obviously the quality, handle, stuff like that is not of the Benchmade. However, quite the knife from what I've seen on reviews for $10. The problem is they're never in stock. I've went to so many Walmarts and they're never there, and they're never in stock online. So my wife and I just happened to be at a Walmart the other day. I spotted this guy. So what is this? An Ozark Trail branded knife, just like the $10 one. But this guy is $5. Why did this grab my attention? Because it also has the crossbar lock, or the shaft lock. And I was like, wait a minute. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to get the $10 knife. So for $5, I was like, sold, right? That's the story to how this became to be a thing. Ozark Trail, which I believe is a Walmart branded knife. It's carried at Walmart. The model, basically all it says on the packaging, as you've seen earlier, was 7.5-inch folding knife. That is the whole knife extended tip to tail. The blade itself, which let's go ahead and flip it open here. The blade itself is 3.25 inches. It is black coated. I'm assuming maybe just painted, not for sure. There's no markings anywhere that I could find stating what this blade is, other than on the packaging. It just simply says stainless steel. I first brought it home. I had to tear into a paper towel with it and a little bit of cardboard. And I'll be honest with you, it did pretty well. The cardboard probably better than a paper towel. It certainly wasn't wanting to do any S-curves with the paper towel or anything crazy like that. But it wasn't horrible, but it certainly could use a sharpen if it could even take that well of a sharpen with whatever the steel is. But however, honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It still kind of got the job done. Now, I didn't take it into any rope or anything crazy, but so who knows about that. So yeah, that's kind of where the blade steel is. Let's talk about the thumb studs too. Believe it or not, the thumb studs, they're actually pretty dang good. If we look at the wee banter over here, they are similar-ish in their ridgings and that. So yeah, thumb studs, actually not bad at all. The handle is, yeah, it's pretty rough. Polypropylene, so I could be wrong, but I believe that just transfers into saying plastic. It feels plastic. It looks plastic. The edges are probably my biggest complaint. They're pretty, I don't want to say sharp. I mean, they're not going to cut you, but they're uncomfortable at best. Although it does tend to provide a little grip. You can get at least a full sort of, fist on here. Speaking of the blade and the handle, jimping, however, horrible. What the hell is that? Is that your jimping? I believe it is your jimping. Literally on the handle. Nothing on the blade. horrible. Nowhere to really bite down. And the choil down here, it's actually not horrible, believe it or not, but with no jimping up there, that sort of takes the choking up aspect a little bit away. To be honest with you, I've, pinched obviously a bug out really good in the past and almost think it flexed more than that. And speaking of that, the weight of this is honestly not too bad. I would say it is pretty, it's not much more than the Civivi Biophase in weight, and significantly less than the Civivi Incendi in weight. It may be maybe a little bit closer to the Banter as far as that goes. So weight is pretty good. We're going to go over quick pros and cons at the end. But yeah, the handle does feel cheap, and it certainly doesn't offer, it's like pretty much zero grip. These little grooves or whatever do basically, nothing. Pretty dang good centering on that blade. The pocket clip, going back to kind of the handle here, the pocket clip is pretty bad. It's got a roughly similar, it's a little bit more kind of oddly bumped up than, say, like your common Civivi pocket clip. And it's not really mounted to be quite as deep as it could be. I just find it to be slightly weak. And actually, this was one of the stronger ones. So the pocket clip, it's not the worst, but it could be better. Mounting could be better. There's obviously also no reverse mounting of that for left-handers. But it's not the worst thing in the world. Honestly, the look of this knife and even the sound of its flick when it comes out is not bad. I do like this sort of gray color. So the detent on this thing is ridiculous, at least compared to what I'm used to with the Civivis, Wii's, Protex, what have you. So look at that, just doing the lock up here. Oh my gosh, look at that. And so it also makes this lock really tight. So there must be a super strong spring in there. Look at it. Okay, right there it finally. I was almost right where it's at now, like halfway back, before that finally let that go. That is crazy. And then when you come back over here and you go, it starts to resist. Honestly, it starts to resist. It's still trying to, it still tries to push up almost at the halfway flagpole there. If you were to sling this down, it literally wants to still go up. The slow roll is actually really nice, a little bit maybe from that. But yeah, that's just crazy. So it's anything but a guillotine. And when it gets down here, it gets so tough. Oh, look at it. You can't even control how quick that just sucks that in when it starts to get down there. Oh, maybe a little bit. Then boom. So, as you know, with per se a better knife, when you get, for example, let's just push this. Boom. Guillotine. Release. Let's start to push it. Boom. See how easy that was? Let's bring it down. And right there. Does not pull in until right there. But at the same time, almost never fails on a flip. But see, that's a detent that I absolutely love, and a detent that I'm absolutely used to, is being able to just do that. This thing, never. Never. Matter of fact, look, it just keeps coming up. So that detent for me is way too strong. But at the same time, this isn't my daily carry. This is just a $5 fun purchase. There is, however, no detent lash down here. I mean, it's rock solid. And as far as that goes, the same goes with the lock. But crossbar locks, or in this case, shaft lock, they're known to be very, very strong for the most part. But yeah, this thing's been great. And again, the shaft lock being the main reason for buying this. So as far as the pivot goes, it's not horrible. Honestly, if it wasn't for the detent, I think, I don't know if I'd even think much about the pivot, but maybe a little bit of a medium oil in that would be, beneficial. But I'm just kind of waiting to do that, because ideally it should be oiled from the factory, right? And I would say I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. I think other than the detent tuning of this, it's surprisingly manufactured pretty good. So we're going to come to the pros and the cons with this guy. I can't really think of anything else. Again, thumb flick's good. Just flicking the lock is good. You can do it with just one finger. Reverse flicks are good. And it's fairly toss aroundable, to be honest with you. Let's go over the pros and cons here, and then this will be wrapped up. Pros, $5. Walmart return, right? Centered blade. We talked about how good the blade was centered. The lightweight of it, the shaft lock seems good and strong. The thumb studs are great, and the action flick overall is great. The cons are that it is made by Walmart, or Ozark Trail. Not exactly reputable as far as I know for that. I mean, it's certainly not generally something that you see sold along certain other brands. The blade steel probably bugs me the most. Have no idea what it is. The sharpness, yeah, I mean, we'll count it. But sharpness, maybe we'll lump those both into one, the blade steel and the sharpness. Handle might be the second to the worst thing. It just really feels cheap. And then, of course, the pocket clip, which not the end of the world. So basically, what did we come up with? We come up with 7 to 4, which in my opinion means a good buy. So for $5, if you just wanted something, here's what I'm looking at with this. Okay, let's say you don't have, or you do not want to spend any more than $5 on a knife. You just want something that could possibly poke something for self-defense, right? Or could poke anything, a hole in a paper towel, a hole in cardboard, and it actually wasn't the worst at cutting for the most part. Some light duty stuff. You're never going to use it so hardcore that the jimping, that you're going to need to choke up to where you want a larger choil and jimping on the blade. Or if the other idea for this too is if you wanted a $5 knife to practice with, like practice tricks with, different flips, okay, this would be a good one for that. You drop it, who cares? Even if you break it, who cares? It wouldn't bug you to take it out on a curb, concrete curb or something, and just freaking file that sucker down to be so dull it couldn't cut you if you wanted it to. So it could be good for that. Could be good to give to like a kid that you don't want to give a good one to. Or, like say you're going somewhere to a county fair or something, and they got some coaster, it goes in a circle, goes upside down, and maybe you've been down that road before and, dropped and broke or lost, your Protec or something. and you're like, I don't want to do that again, but I want to have a knife on me that I may not even pull out all night long. I mean, hey, $5, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of amazed at what you can get nowadays for $5 in the knife area. So definitely has come a long way. Why did I decide to review on a $5 knife? Because you know what? Probably most people aren't going to do that. And if I was just sitting around for gigs and seeing this on Walmart.com and was just wondering to myself, wonder if it's worth the $5. I ain't got nothing else to do right now. Waiting for somebody to get home. Maybe somebody's got a YouTube up about it. Hell, to be honest with you, as we're saying this, maybe somebody does. I did not check before making this, but I just thought you can always find YouTubes on, more expensive crap. Sometimes, crap you can't even afford. And then you're sitting there watching YouTube on something that you really can't afford anyway. And yet nobody wants to make one on the, $5 knife because that's, well, first of all, it's beneath them. Maybe they wouldn't even own it or whatever. It's not interesting enough, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, I don't know, maybe it'd be a cool video. I know I wish that I would have found videos like this for certain cheaper purchases I've made of things in the past. And so here we are. So that's why I did it. Anyway, so hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, I'd say for $5, total win.